Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Morning, Jackson.
Good morning.
Jordan's not here today. I thought I'd leave him alone today. Sometimes I just get an idea and I'm like, Jack, let's just do a podcast. So I really want to do one on optimum performance today because I think it's a bit of a hot topic at the moment with gut health and things like this, but all-round performance, because I think life is difficult. Life's tricky and there's a lot of pressure and stress, and it's like sometimes you're so impatient to get from here to here, but you've got to be running at your best. Like all of your mates have gone away this weekend, Jackson. I think they've all they're going camping and having a big weekend.
Yeah, going to Aberdeen.
They won't be performing at optimum next week.
You know what's funny though? Because usually I'd be all over that, but for the last 3 weeks, I think ever since I went out in Terrigal, probably like 3 weeks ago, I don't even want to have a beer.
Yeah.
But usually it's like that for a week and then I'll want to go out again, but it's just like stuck. I'm like, nah, don't really feel like it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think once you get yourself, and that's sort of where I'm at as well, but different, the muscles built a bit stronger.
Yeah, very
now.
different, I think.
Yeah, you sort of collapse after 3 or 4 weeks and then you go out and have a bit of a blow your mind.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm like, I just don't want to. Like last night even, boys were going to the pub and I was like, nah,
yeah,
I just don't feel like it.
Well, I think you get to a point where you sort of start to look at the other side, and especially when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, I'll have these beers, but you don't think about or even if you do think about the other side, the fun of doing it is more enticing.
Yeah, you don't care.
You're sort of like, oh yeah, it's all right, I'll just deal with it.
It's like impulsive, but a lot of young guys like now, they don't even, it's just part of it. Like I think they enjoy it as well, just laying in bed and doing nothing and turning the phone off.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think when you're performing at your optimum, life just feels better anyway. And you start operating this frequency that things start coming to you much easier. So to me, it really makes sense to imagine living like that. That's why I'm so focused on what's the next little bit I can add to the whole process to make myself feel even better again. Because I think there's all these frequency levels, and when you're buzzing at the top of them, things just come to you so easy, because like energy matches like energy. And after all of these years, I'm like, well, doesn't it make sense just to be that energy that you want to see? So if you're in sales like me, or you have a business, or you're working in something that's performance-based, that result's going to match who you are. And you can... Like I've seen people going through divorces, with addictions and all this sort of stuff, working in a performance-based business. But life is performance-based, not just work, but work's a good one. But when you're like on a roll energetically, good thing after good thing after good thing after good thing keeps happening. But the amount of not so good things, because things still don't go exactly right, but you can weather them much easier because the amount of good things compared to the odd one or two thing that doesn't work out, it's like, yeah, that's sort of a bit of a bugger, but we'll move on because you feel way more resilient. I think a lot of, I don't know about depression. Like to me, it's just a frequency level. People talk about depression like it's some disease. I don't think it is. It's more like that's where you are vibrationally. But I think the good thing about that is, like, it's easy to move from there because that's right at the bottom. But it's like you are just stuck in a vibrational circle. Like you're just stuck in this place and you're not going anywhere because you're focused on things that aren't working, that's not right, that life's no good, that life's hard. I was talking to someone last night and I said, how's your work going? They go, tough, really tough. I'm like, yeah, because that's where you are. I could feel it. And when people say to me, like, how's things? I'm like, phenomenal. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, phenomenal. And they're like, wow, oh, that's good. And you can hear them, like, it's like you pull them up to that. But it takes a lot of work, Jackson. Like, it takes a lot of work to have your body operating at optimum. And I've still got a ways to go. I'm on this journey. I just want to see what's possible. If I've got another 20 years on this earth or 30 years on this earth or 40 years on, I don't know how long, but I want to make the most of it. That's where my mind is at now. Like I think something when I turn 50, I'm like, okay, well I don't have stacks of time left. I've got some, but like how good can that be? Because I look back in my life, but I wouldn't change anything at all because it's like all of the things I went through, I think put me in this position now where I've got a lot of experience in life and I've got a lot of hindsight and I've got a lot of ability to see forward now and also be tough on myself. Tough. There you go. Tough.
Do you think you need to be tough on yourself?
Yeah, I do. I think you've got to be like an army sergeant on yourself. I think you do. And you're young, so that's you probably see it as like you have a lot of time to sort of bounce around. But I know people have died in their 40s. I know people that have, and even with, like I had a mate die recently and he was 48. And my dad died as well at 47. And the more I learn about gut health, it starts there. So it's there and out. And gut health, when your body, it's exactly like when your car is idling at the perfect, I don't know if you've ever been in a high performance car before, Jay. And it's like, it's so bumpy because the cam's lumpy and it's like got all this power. It's like boom, 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 boom. And if it's out of idle a little bit, those cars like will conk out straight away. They're like boop, 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 and it conks out. It sort of doesn't idle properly. And you've probably, like the cars these days are a bit different, but when I was like in the Holden and stuff, if the timing was out and the car wasn't idling properly, they would sound real not great. And you sit at traffic lights and they sometimes just stop. Your body's a bit like that. So the more I look at what's going on out there, you know, people say, oh, my gut was just telling me. You know, my gut was. I was watching a video on the way to the factory today, and the guy goes, "My gut was just telling me." And he was this army general, a major general, and the stomach is like the real brain of the body. The stomach is, you got two brains, but the stomach is the real brain of the body. People don't say, "Oh, my mind was telling me."
Yeah, no, they say my heart or my gut.
Yeah, I felt it in my heart or my gut was telling me. So it's like, you know, I could just feel it in my gut. That's because all of the sequences, all of the energy, all of that is in your gut. It's like, that's where the control panel is. That's where like the I don't know what you call it, like the main board is there. So if that's not working properly, because you're not taking care of yourself properly, your body won't be running properly. And you've got all this bacteria all talking to each other and all of this stuff. This is not about gut health. But unless that's right, you'll be slightly out. So your energy won't be right, your focus won't be right, your emotions won't be right. All the serotonin that comes from there, all of that sort of stuff is like, that's where it's like, that's where it happens. That's where it's coming from. So now I'm on this every day. I have this, and let's go back to like an army sergeant in your life. Well, you see me, you live with me. I get up, have my pods, have my powder, have my B12, have my electrolytes, have my, what else is there? There's so much stuff. And then have my minerals that have been sourced from this place and all these things. But you look at it now, Jack, and I stick to all of that, like without fail. And Mick's just created a new pod for me. But my sleep is amazing. I cut out pre-workout. I cut out caffeine. You got to make these tough decisions sometimes. Like, is it good to come? You know, even this morning I was like, I wouldn't mind having a bit of a energy drink this morning. I'm not going to do it though, because I'm 3 weeks in probably, and I'm not going to break it. Because the benefit is I don't have this up and down in the day now. I don't have this. You could feel all right having this caffeine, but there is a down, like whichever way you look at it. And then that goes into your gut, and then your gut's got to process it, all of that stuff. And then emotionally, you've got to go up and down. Energetically, you've got to go up and down. I don't want to. So I wake up this morning at like 4:30, and I'm like doing my usual thing, but I have this routine that I'm excited about. And then, but my body's firing real hard now. Like I have magnesium at night, I have an ice bath at night, I have a sauna before the ice bath. Like, this is how my life is now, every day. I get asked to speak quite a bit, and then I've said no to about 3 or 4 talks just recently because I don't want to break my routine. because I don't. Because when you go somewhere else, you've got to travel there for a day, you've got to speak the next day, and then you've got to it's a 3-day turnaround. And I tell them, I just don't want to break my routine. I'm sorry, I'm too happy doing this. And someone said to me, oh, they'd have to offer you like a lot of money to go there. I didn't even know if I'd accept it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think any amount of money would really make you, because you don't need anything.
Yeah, I don't need anything. But I put more value on firing hard now. Because when you're firing hard, you feel better, you're emotionally better, you're excited about life, like you are going somewhere. And like that whole routine around optimum performance, I think I've unlocked the code.
What triggered it? Because like you've always been like healthy-ish, but like, or like fit-looking-ish, but like in the last 7 years, you've kind of gone from a goblin to the Goblin King. Like you're like this bigger and healthier, because it's like first it started off with your body, it seemed you just wanted to get bigger and look fitter, and now it's like, oh, I look fit, but am I actually healthy? And now you've turned it all into this, it's like this big DNA wire thing that goes up this big chain that never ends, and you just keep going.
I think there's a few things. Like I think I was really unsatisfied in life a while ago. You know, like it was very stressful bringing you guys up, a couple of divorces. And I think inside I felt like I sort of felt like I just wasn't in tune.
Just plodding along.
Sort of. I was working real hard and I was achieving things, but it was just something not sitting really right. I don't know what it was. It's like, then I started taking testosterone because the doctor said we got none. So I started taking that, and that wasn't an instant fix. That was like a few years, and I was like training a little bit, and I'd make the 31 minutes space in the day because I was always so busy. I'd be like, oh, I don't have time for anything. I'm also, I brought you up. I was always rushing somewhere and always on the phone and always here, there and everywhere, wasn't I?
Yeah.
It's like, I wasn't enjoyable to be around.
No, it was like you were just completely focused on work and nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. And you kids,
you still made effort in saying that. Like we still did things, but it was more like
I was just juggling hard.
Yeah, it was just very frantic.
It was very frantic. That's a good word, Jack.
Yeah.
So very frantic. And you 4 older kids, I think you got the bit of the raw end of the deal because I wasn't a very happy person. Like I'd always like I'd just yell at you.
Driving to church on Sundays was like the scariest thing ever. It was just silent. No one could
I'd
talk.
smack you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if you'd looked the wrong way, I was like,
and you'd be playing You Raise Me Up in the background constantly the whole drive to church.
So I just wasn't happy inside, and then started taking testosterone, started taking peptides, started making 31 minutes a priority, and I'd do that once a day, and then slowly, then over the next few years, I was like, I'd sort of learn a bit more about food and a bit more about this. And then I was surfing, and then I got a bit too. And I was surfing one day, and I thought, I just want to focus on my body. I think I just want to focus on sculpting that, and there wasn't enough time to do both surfing and body, and I was going to get a bit heavier as well. So I just gave up surfing completely. I remember that.
You know what that reminds me of? Like, have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
No.
In this scene, he randomly just starts running, and he runs for 3 years, and he gets all these followers and people following him. And one day he just goes, "I just don't want to run ananymore," and just stops and turns around, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" And just completely stops. That just reminded me of that for some reason.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. And like I really like surfing, and I used to surf with Logan all the time, and sometimes you'd surf with us, and then. But I remember I was standing on the beach and went, I'm going to stop surfing now because I didn't have exactly enough time to do everything properly. So I was like, that's what I mean about the Sergeant Major thing. You got to sometimes make hard decisions, like not going to drink, not going to this. And even drinking, like I tried drinking a few times with, socially, and I just never felt right the next day. So I'll cut that out of my life. And then I was like, well, the body's so amazing. What can I push my body to? And when I got to sort of 48, 49, I was like, I want to really see what I can do, like for myself. Like, what can I, this might not be for everybody, but it could be in a different sort of way. It could be a different interest. I made my body my interest. Like I wanted to see what I can sculpt it as, because I think when I was younger and I was bodybuilding, I never quite really focused on it properly. And it was always there in my mind. I was like, I wonder what I can do with it. But then it's not just bodybuilding, and it's not just weightlifting and things. What I saw was I started to learn more about, because I'd meet someone else and then hear about this and hear about that, and start really absorbed myself in it. But then I got really a lot happier as I, learned more about eating. And then I was like, well, if I live a really healthy life and a really focused life, I started seeing it benefit all of my life, my results, even at work. People going, you are so much better to work with. I don't think I was great to work with. I was like always so cranky and.
Did you go through a lot of employees back then compared
hundreds,
to now? Yeah.
Hundreds of PAs, like so many. And they didn't want to work with me after a while, or people did. They were inspired to work with me because I always did pretty good. But they were inspired to work with me, but then working with me, a different story. They were like, oh, this guy's not that great. Because I'd be like, go do this, just like this anxious mess all the time. Like, or this, just a whole lot of like, I don't know how to explain it. I was doing well, but I was just a bit cranky all the time.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I've sort of found this routine in life where I'm genuinely the happiest I've ever been. I'm the fittest I've ever been. I feel the best I've ever been. And life is just continually getting better. But you have to make some hard decisions around it. Like people, I reckon, how many messages do we get from people about addictions and can I stop this? Can I stop
Hundreds.
that? You just got to stop. Like literally stop. And I choose optimum now over a hangover or over, and I know I say it a lot, but people struggle with it.
Well, why is this? Like right now, like last night, for instance, not going out was such an easy decision for me. I just, don't want to. But like 3 weeks ago, I'm like, I really want it. Why is it sometimes it's like an easy decision? Like I think I want to train legs really hard now. I really want big legs. It's like all I'm really thinking about. I don't know if that's a cause but sometimes it's like the easiest decision in the world. I don't really want to go out, just staying at home. And other times it's like, let's go.
Because like your muscles developing, it's the same. It's to develop anything takes a long time and it takes a lot of work. So if you want better gut health, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a while to change your habits. But also, I put more value on waking up well now than I do on the party at 9 o'clock the night before. I'll choose not to go to the party. And people might say, well, I want to go and socialise. Well, go do that. But there's a cost and benefit to everything.
Don't sook about it the next day.
Yeah, that's right. So you, Jackson, I mean, you hang around me every day and that's going to rub off somewhere because you're young though. So you got to explore the world and do it your way. But I can see you changing. Yeah. But look how long it's been. You've fallen off the wagon a few times.
Yeah, not like completely fallen off, but like I've just gone like I've like
you got off your head.
I've tripped over and been like idiot.
No, it's more than trip over. Like you go off on a bender and you spend the next week recovering.
Yeah.
But you're going to do that. That's the only way to develop a muscle. That's why you get sore in the gym. You tear it apart and it rebuilds itself, and that's why your muscles get sore. So you do that over and over again. You don't get as sore after time because you're doing it all the time. But I think you're putting more value on where do you want to be, who do you want to become.
Slowly, yeah.
Yeah, good things only come from good decisions. A lot of people try and medicate themselves with alcohol and things because they're not happy.
Just doing the opposite.
I don't want to wreck my happiness.
Well, when you were talking about depression before, saying like you don't know about it and this and that, it's like when I was depressed, it was like
you were suicidal.
Yeah, but I didn't train. I drank every day, like not every day, but a lot of the time. Like I had my cold sores I had were the worst ever, just because I was so unhealthy. And then when you switch it around, you feel better. That's like when you're saying I agree with it because I like went through it as well.
I'm careful when I say it because people write in and go, "You're not a doctor. How would you know about clinical depression and all this?" Like I understand. I can only speak from where I sit.
Yeah.
And, like whether I've been depressed or not, whatever, but I know that the influences of the things that I was doing made me feel depressed.
Yeah.
Like it made me feel that way. It's not until you make a decision to change it and stick to it. It's
exciting as well when you change it.
It's exciting.
You're like, whoa, like, I'm looking better. It's like, you go, whoa, you start getting a bit of purpose.
It is.
It's like I used to be excited to eat my oats every morning for the box to be finished because I knew, I've gone through 4 boxes of oats. It means I'm getting fitter and fitter and fitter. It's like over time, but then it does get boring, I think, for some people.
This is exactly where we're going.
Yeah.
So if I have a strength, it's sticking to stuff.
Yeah.
Like once I make a decision, I stick to it most of the time. And then like the consistency around your decision later, it's very hard. There's a great saying, character is sticking with a decision long after the feeling of the goal was made. So basically, you get excited when you set the goal, but your real character is built sticking to it over a long period of time. So now, like my mind is at 55, Like we just did a video before this saying the picture in your mind, you got to have a picture of in mind how you want your body. But I'm always thinking about like now, when I'm 52, how do I want my body to be? How do I want my life to be? How do I want Tara to be? How do I want the kids to be? Blah, 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 blah. Where do I want that to be? You know, and I'm working towards that every day. But every day I don't work towards it. Like if I went on a bender or went on a drink, I'm going backwards. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward at a rate of knots because you pick up more and more momentum. It's not even a question in my mind. If I was at a party and they said, have a beer, I wouldn't even touch it because I'm like, I don't want to go backwards. I know what it feels like. I've gone backwards in life more than I've gone forwards way before now. And I don't want to anymore. So, but there's something amazing that happens if you stick to it for a month, just 1 month, and work really hard and start and learn about what the formula looks like. What does the gut health formula look like? Like you've got all this time in the day and you choose how you want to spend it. Mine is developing my gut health, developing my body, developing my work, and creating a phenomenal future for myself. My future is going to be different than yours. I want different things, like everybody does. But it's like you've got to design each day around how you want it to be. And it's around, for me, it's like optimum. Like I want optimum performance. I want to feel good all day. Like now, I see it really tired, right? And I have a couple of sleeps in the day. I don't have any naps in the day most of the time. Every now and then I will. But it's like I'd get so tired by the end of the day. Now I have full energy at the end of the day most of the time. And I'm like, and I go to bed at like 8:30, whatever it is, and like have an ice bath. I've cracked the code, Jack, for myself. Like mine might not work for you, but for me, I reckon I've got the happiness code. That's how I feel. And it's taken a long time, but why not learn from what I know? Because I've learned from all of these people and then make it something that suits you. And all these Mick the Podman and, you know, whoever else is there, I can't think of people, but it's like, you know, Met's, the nutrition plan, and, you know, Bryce has taught me some stuff along the way and all these different things. Who else is there? Steve, the money guy, all of these things. You put all these bits together, but you've got to want to, Jack. Like you've got to want to. It's like me standing on the beach and giving up surfing. I wanted to create a different life. Like I wanted to say, this is where I'm putting all my energy into. I'm going to create the life that I can see and feel in my mind, and I'm not going to waver from that because I reckon people let themselves down.
Yeah, 100%.
They go to the gym for 2 weeks and then don't go again. Why not just keep going a little bit every day? Because they try and do too much at once. And you've got to do small amounts over a longer period of time. And then that will be a part of you. Like you'll make it a part of. It's like training with pre-workout now. Like I train now, no crash, no nothing, whatever. Come in the gym early in the morning, and before I was like taking 1 scoop, 2 scoops.
Yeah, it's got more and more over time. I'm the same. I've stopped. Like I have a coffee every few days if I feel like having one before work, but I don't drink any pre-workout anymore. I just have the orange juice. Yeah. I get excited. I love that orange juice. I get excited to have 2. I'm sleeping so much, but I'm tired at like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Heaps better because it's a stimulant, Jack. Whichever way you look at it, it's like taking speed. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like I was taking more and more and more. I'd get up and all I'd think about was I can't wait to get to the gym, take some pre-workout or have an energy drink as soon as it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, everything's steadied so much. I have more energy than the pre-workout will ever give me. Sometimes I feel like I was off my head training on pre-workout.
That's what I enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
I found myself going like, ugh, like enjoying, like feeling like you just had a line.
Yeah.
It's like I stopped because they gave me a cold sore. I only got cold sores if I went and jumped on drugs and went out for a whole night or 2 nights or whatever. I'd get a cold sore. But then every time I have a C4, I'd get a cold sore.
Yeah.
So I was like, like it must correlate in some way. So I was like, nah, I'm just not going to drink.
No good. No good. So I think the happiness code is there for everybody, and it's a formula that works for you, but you got to see it. You can't let yourself down. Don't let yourself off. If you feel like there's more waiting for you and there's optimum health and there's optimum performance at work and there's optimum family at whatever, and you want to buy a bigger home, the way to get a bigger home is value add your life, and it's going to come. You want to get more wealth, the way to get more wealth is to become a happier person and follow your heart in the direction that you want to go, and money will just follow it over time. But it's a longer period. This is not a quick fix thing. But I'll tell you where the quick fix is. Make a decision if you've had enough. If you're feeling like you're a little bit like, I know there's more for me out here, you have to go on the journey and say, today, I'm going to start making some changes. I'm going to start making some health changes, some friend changes, some work changes, some time changes, everything. You know, like you got to look at your life and say, what really do I not like about this, and what more do I want to put in here that's going to make you happy? Once you have a happiness code, you're never going to want to trade it for anything. No beers, no drugs, no negative friends, no time that you don't want to be somewhere. Like you see me, Jack. People say, come here. I go, no, I don't want to. I was got invited to a friend's party in Noosa, one of my dearest friends. I said, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to walk around Noosa for 4 or 5 days in a circle. Like, it's not where I want to be. But I said, I'll come and I love their house and having hamburgers around the fire. I love it. I said, let's do that instead. You know, that's just the way I see it, because you're trading time every day and choices.
Do you think that's off-putting for people? Do you think people get put off by it, or they just know you well enough?
They just know me. They know I'm just authentic around what I say to them. Like,
I think they appreciate that.
That's how I genuinely feel. Like, I love them to death, but they're like, it's not just them, it's anything. It's like people, there's 3 talks I got asked this week. I said no. And I told them, I don't want to break my routine for your talk. I love it that much.
Yeah.
And you know what one person said? She goes, I thought you'd say that. You know, they could offer me however much money and I wouldn't go, because it's like, it's not like I actually like talking, but it's like, it's got to feel right at the right time. I don't know. It just at the moment it doesn't. I'm just so absorbed in optimum performance and also the happiness code that I just don't want to change it, because I'm on a journey. I just feel like life is getting so good. I'm that excited to see where it goes. Try your own happiness code.